Hey, love. So, welcome to this Lunar Love Report for our upcoming new moon in the sign of Libra happening on the 21st of October, 2025. And if you're new around here and wondering what this is all about, I'm Diane Shepherd, and I run a sacred feminine mystery school or goddess school for women who want to reclaim the sacredness of their bodies and the power of their pleasure, their sensuality, their sexual energy, so they can really fully step into embodying, I like to say, the goddess they were born to be, and really claim their role as creatrix in their lives. So, what I'm talking about here is really getting your toes in the sand, reclaiming your pleasure, if you will, and really getting your hands in the clay and starting to really create your life from the inside out. So, one of the things I love to offer to my community are these lunar love reports, because I find that working with the moon, especially the new moon and the full moon, is a very powerful way to activate your sacred feminine essence, your unique expression, and to get really clear on your unique desires and how to bring that into a ritual to start to have that manifest for you. So, in this video, I want to give you the overview of the astrology at hand, the energy that's alive under this new moon, so that it can be more effective for you. I'll also be offering you a guided sensual breathwork practice so that you can bring this into ritual. All right, so under this new moon, now new moons in general are new beginnings. That's when the moon and the sun are together or conjunct. I like to think of them as dancing cheek to cheek. So there's a lot of energy here. It's a bursting of energy, in a sense, of a time to plant seeds, a time to really get some clarity on your desires. Not necessarily a time to take action, but it is a time to pull in, maybe do some emotional processing so that you can get clear on what the desires are for you specifically. And your emotions are your guide here. If you've been triggered by certain things, especially in the realm of relationship under this Libra new moon, you want to feel into that. You want to give yourself time to move your emotion through your body so that you can activate your genius, your feminine genius, and really get clear on, okay, I don't want that. What do I want? So under this moon, again, it's in the sign of Libra, air sign, cardinal sign. Libra is ruled by Venus. This is about new beginnings in all things Venus. So it does have to do with our beauty, our radiance, our worth, our abundance, and of course, relationships, especially the relationships we have with ourselves, our bodies, and how that shows up in our relationships with others. Now, Venus recently moved into the sign of Libra, so this makes it even more of a Venusian new moon. And under this moon, there are a few details I want to go into that are going to make it even more impactful for you. The first one is that this moon is a really good time to get clear on what your desires are in terms of nourishment and feeling safe and seen in relationships. And I'm going to explain astrologically why that's so in a moment. We're going to pull up the chart. So, what do you need in terms of nourishment in all relationships? And are you giving that to yourself? The second piece is it's an opportunity to do some deep dive healing on any times that you've given yourself away, that you've sabotaged yourself, that you've really lost yourself in relationship. And it's a great opportunity to get a fresh start on that going forward. How can you work on healing some of that and really move forward with a whole new sense of your identity in relationship? And there's another piece that really invites us into some deep emotional alchemy so we can really feel our deepest feelings, maybe feelings we've been avoiding, so that we can really get clear on the desire and really start to create this again as creatrix of your life. So let's pull up the chart and dive deeper into these details so you have a clear idea of why I was saying those things. And also, I want to offer you a free guided breathwork ritual to really support you in this. So let's dive in. All right, then. So let's pull up the chart for our new moon in Libra, getting into the juicy details happening on October 21st, 2025. So I find that the day before the new moon and the day after are also really potent times to work with this. So don't get stressed about maybe you're busy on the 21st and you don't have time to really pay attention to this. That's okay. the day before or after is still very active, and you can still get a lot of benefit from working with this lunation. So, as I said, new moons are when the sun and the moon are dancing cheek to cheek. And here they are at 28 degrees of Libra, later degrees of Libra. So, if you have any personal planets or you have your ascendant in the later degrees of Libra, this you might be feeling this more personally, more potently. And if you have any personal planets or ascendant in any of the cardinal signs as well, being Libra, Aries, Capricorn, Cancer, you might also be feeling this in a more powerful way, personal way. I just wanted to add that. I think we'll all be feeling it, but you might be feeling it a little extra. So we have again the moon and the sun together. We also have Venus recently have moved into the sign of Libra. So she is very happy here and really juicing up this new moon, making it even more of a Venusian new moon, really underscoring all things Venus under this moon. So Venus representing again goddess of love. So we're talking about our relationships with our bodies and really owning our beauty, our radiance, our worth. So it has to do with abundance. It has to do with, of course, sensuality and pleasure, and how much of that are we letting in, how we are letting our sexual energy run in a healthy way, a way that feels good and fuels our vitality or not. And also, this absolutely has to do with relationships of all kinds, and how do we create more beauty and harmony in relationships with others, and definitely romantic relationships, but all relationships, by really creating that inner beauty and harmony within ourselves first and foremost. So, again, new moon, great opportunity to plant seeds and get really clear about your desires under this moon. The first thing I want to point out, or I guess it's the third thing I want to point out, we talked about a couple of things already, is we have Jupiter up here in the sign of Cancer, later degrees of Cancer, squaring this new moon. So this is really bringing attention to that theme of nourishment, feeling safe and feeling seen in relationships, really creating relationships from a place that feels good, that feels nourishing. And so this might highlight for you any area that's not happening, and that's good news. Don't dwell on the downside of that. What I want you to do is to really harvest the desire underneath the complaint of that. Maybe you don't feel seen, you don't feel nourished, you don't feel honored in relationships. So Cancer is definitely about nourishment and feeling safe, and and having that kind of safe space to truly be yourself. So under this new moon, it's a great time to get clear on your desires around that. How do you want to feel in relationships? Now, this might be, again, relationships with your lover or lovers. This might be a relationship in your workspace, in your family life, your family of origin, things like that. So it's a great opportunity to hone in on that. What emotions come up for you around that? And what is the desire beneath the complaint, if there is a complaint? So there's that to tune into. We also have an opposition here from Chiron. This is the glyph that looks like a key. Chiron, the key to healing, a lot of people would say. So we have Chiron and Aries here, conjunct Eris. Now, Chiron is the wounded healer, and Chiron and Aries is all about our identity, about the wounding we've, I think, all had, on where we've had to sacrifice ourselves in some way, shape, or form to fit in, to survive, really. And so Chiron is here to help us reclaim our identity in relationship in this case. So there's this fiery energy to support you in getting clear on your desires, to really step more fully into your identity. Who are you in relationship, and where have you maybe given that away, right? Have you lost yourself in relationship? Again, this could be romantic or otherwise. And how do you reclaim it? Could even be a relationship with your kids, honestly. And how do you reclaim that in a loving way? There we also have the Eris piece here, which is really going to give you a lot of strength, bravado, courage. And she represents the fierce goddess, rebellious energy that is really fighting for you, really has your back. So there's this fiery, feisty, wild feminine energy here to really help you reclaim yourself in relationship, in this case, under this new moon in Libra. So you have a lot of support. She's got your back. And then we also have a square by Pluto. So here's Pluto down here in the early degrees of Aquarius. So it is an out of sign square, as we say. still very active, still very potent. And Pluto is the god of transformation, of death and rebirth, very shamanic energy here. Pluto is all about emotional empowerment. So this is an invitation to dive deep into those emotions that maybe you've been avoiding. Pluto does not like it when we avoid emotion, because Pluto is here to really support us into the empowerment emotion can bring. So asking us to dive into those emotions we might have been avoiding, maybe resentment, fear, anger, whatever it is, and to let that come into our body, embodied experience through ritual. And again, I'm going to give you a practice for that. How do you bring that alive? How do you put your emotions in motion so that you can process, so that you can get the specific downloads meant for you that are going to give you that clarity around what you truly want? So there is a lot of support to do some deep work here. And again, I want to offer you a free guided breathwork ritual, sensual breathwork. I call it Vital Goddess Breathwork, that'll really support you in this. It's specific to this new moon. Now, if you're viewing this on my site in my container, you can see it linked below. If you're seeing this on YouTube, it'll be in the description. But I wanted to just offer you this opportunity to dive in to the embodiment of this, to really get your own downloads, because that is where the magic happens. That's where you reclaim the creatrix you were born to be, the goddess you were born to be. So that's all I got for you under this new moon. Enjoy. And again, take good care of yourself, and I'll catch you next time. Take care.